success of this team started 10 years ago, and they have honestly racked up more medals than I can count. An incredibly successful 2024 saw 3 medals at the Paralympic Games and another 3 medals at the World Championships just a few weeks later. The paracycling team of Katie-George Dunlevy, Eve McCrystal, Josephine Helian and Linda Kelly are your winners for the Her Sport Team of the Year, sponsored by Linwoods Health Foods. We are delighted to have with us today Katie-George Dunlevy to receive the award.
What do you think of that?
Thank you. I love your suit, by the way. As soon as you came on, I could see you. I said, I don't need anyone to show me to the stage because I could see your
glittering.
sparkly suit. It's amazing. This was wonderful. Thank you to Her Sport. I was actually, a little bit shocked when we said we were going to, when we were told we were going to win this, and the girls were all delighted. We've put in, really all our lives into cycling and the last few years, and to achieve what we've achieved in the last few years, especially last year, it's been amazing, and this is wonderful. Thank you.
Why were you shocked?
I think usually when it comes to parasport, we kind of don't get the recognition sometimes, so I think that's part of it. We've been up for awards before in the past, myself and Eve, and we've achieved, we've got gold and silver at the Paralympics, that sometimes other, non-parasports have kind of got the achievements ahead of us, but so that's why, really, yeah.
Well, it's an honour very well deserved here this evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
You have had such a successful career with Paralympics, and last year, of course, 3 medals, it was a phenomenal achievement. Did the success last year, though, Katie, did it feel different in any way for you?
I think every Paralympics is different. The journey is different getting there, the challenges, and last year was probably one of the most challenging years I've had, and I've been at it for 13 years. We had injuries and illnesses. It's mentally and physically was a really challenging year for me. And to come away with 3 medals. I mean, even with the challenges, I never lost focus on what I was aiming to do and what I was aiming to achieve. But you never know what's going to happen on the day. You never know how you're going to go, and you never know how your competitors are going to go. But I think, when you've been at it for the number of years I've been at it, you kind of realise that actually all you can do is your best, and your best is good enough as well. And luckily we came away with some medals. So.
When you had that injury where it was a broken collarbone, and I think Linda as well, she suffered concussions too in the lead up to the Games, how did you manage yourself? What techniques, what did you do to get yourself through that period and prepare for an Paralympic Games?
I'm a very positive person and optimistic, and I just thought, it could have been far worse, and I could see myself at Paris. I said, it's a broken collarbone, I'm a cyclist. I'll be training back on the bike soon, and I will do what I need to do to get myself back on the bike. And I was just grateful that it could have been worse, because cycling is a really dangerous sport, and I could have got concussed like Linda did in previous race, or I could have broken my hip or my leg or something else. So I just thought, I was grateful that, of course it was an awful accident, but cycling is dangerous, and I did break my collarbone, but it could have been worse. I was going to be back on the bike, and I was going to still be aiming for Paris. And it did, of course, halter my preparations. It changed everything, but all I could do was control what I could control and do what I could do.
Bring us back to when you were 11 years of age and you were told you had a condition called retinitis pigmentosa. What was that like, hearing that? And your parents decided to send you to a special school. So how did you feel about that? And what way do you feel maybe that school changed the trajectory of your life in a sporting sense?
Yeah, well, when I was 11 years old, I didn't really understand. I got told that, I can't see, and I was like, well, I can see. I didn't really understand, but from my parents and my my family, it was devastating news because I got told that I'd be blind by the age of 30. So it was devastating news for them and a shock. But for me, I didn't understand, and I didn't want to be different, so I found it quite hard to understand. And I went to a special school for the blind and partially sighted. I didn't want to go, and I found that a difficult time as well. Being kind of away from home and new school. I was enjoying the school I was at, but actually that school gave me opportunity and encouragement to try out different sports and activities, and which I kind of threw myself into. I was an active child and I loved it, but through that I got into competitive sport, and really without that encouragement from that PE teacher and from my parents and that support, I wouldn't be where I am now.
And cycling, believe it or not, wasn't your first love. It was rowing. So you had this dream to be part of the Paralympics with rowing, and it didn't work out for you. So coming from rowing into cycling, what was that like, and what were your first impressions of meeting everybody in the cycling world?
Yeah, I was in love with rowing. I loved it, and I was so passionate about it. And I wanted to, when I realised, it was in the Paralympics in Beijing for the first time, I was like, oh, I'd love to go there, I want to go there, and I was kind of full-time training. And I got lots of injuries, setbacks. It wasn't meant to be, but I tried out, the cycling, and I got called out by the Irish paracycling coach to try out cycling, and I didn't actually know it was a sport for visually impaired, athletes. I didn't realise it was tandem racing at the World Championships and at the Paralympics. At first, I was a bit hesitant, but I realised, this is an opportunity. I want to take opportunities. It's an opportunity, and I'm so glad I took that, because one door closed, another opened, and I fell in love with it as soon as I was outside on the moving tandem, which can go very, very fast. I was like, this is amazing, being out in the open, and it's an amazing sport, and that special kind of element of the team with having a fully sighted rider on the front and a partially sighted rider or a blind sighted rider on the back is amazing. And the speeds we go and just that trust you have to have in each other, I find that just really, really special, and it's really exciting as well.
How difficult is it to get that trust?
I'm quite a trusting person, I find, and intuitive. So, it can be difficult. I've been through a few pilots after, when Eve couldn't make a few competitions, I tried a few other pilots out, or when she was going to go for retirement, which then she wasn't, and they didn't work out. It's a huge commitment from both riders. Sometimes it is difficult, but I've been so lucky to find Eve and Linda, and been a successful partnership with those two on the track and the roads, which has been amazing.
You've spoken a lot about wanting to talk about your sport, talk about disability. From speaking and from when you started off on this journey, have you seen a noticeable change in how people interact with disability and talk about female athletes?
Yeah, it's definitely improved, and even, with the media and recognition, that's improving, but it's still a way to go, I find. I think it's similar to women's sport. I think we have to sometimes achieve more to be recognised. It's the same with para and non-para. But it's a way to go, but it's definitely improving. I've been in the sport for 13 years, and in terms of the support, the money in it, in terms of, the cycling that I've been involved in, that's improved, and also just in Paralympics in Ireland, that's just improving, and, her sport are a part of that as well. So
that leads me on to another question. You are involved in the Worlds, I think, this year, but the $1 million question. LA 2028. And she said to me, I haven't really been asked that question very often, but we said we're among friends here tonight, so she might answer it for us this evening.
As soon as we got off the plane from Paris, we were asked about LA.
Where are you at with that decision, honestly?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm just taking this year. I'm going to see how this year goes. It's 4 years, which is it's a long time as a full-time athlete. It's a huge dedication. and anything can happen, but I'm going to take this year, I'm going to kind of assess, I'm going to work on other things this year, and of course I'm training for the World Championships. I want to retain both my titles on the road with Linda, but after that, at the end of the year I'll know about LA and I'll decide on that and then I'll go for it. But at the moment I'm not actually thinking about it.
Well, we wish you every success with that
Thank
decision.
you.
We all hope to see you back, of course, in 2028. Best of luck in
Thank
the
you
world.
so much. Thank you.
Grainne McElwain, bit of us more marching.